This program is designed to provide general information with regards to the subject matters covered. This information is given with the understanding that neither the hosts, guests, sponsors, or station are engaged in rendering any specific and personal, medical, financial, legal, counseling, professional service, or any advice. You should seek the services of competent professionals before applying or trying any suggested ideas.
Hey there, it's Brian Sebastian, movie reviews and more. And if it's Tuesday, we're always live, obviously. So streaming on Talk4 Media, K4HD Radio, Talk4 TV, and over 100 outlets right now around the world. And also streaming on the TV network, WomenOnTV.tv, I2247 out of Franklin, Tennessee, and the Easy Way Network on Easy Way Podcast also now. And this is show 129 live shows in a row. Season 5 now, episode 3. We just keep rolling. We're going to roll throughout the year and go right into next year. We're right in time for CES. And always, if it's Tuesday, give to your favorite charities. It's always Giving Tuesday, not just one Tuesday out of the year, but every Tuesday. Give to your favorite charity, your companies. Support small business. Donate, follow, and like, and subscribe to them. It's very important. Those artists, those women-owned businesses. Support Toyfest. Toys are really good. Support EdenPark. I love their products and what they have. So, and that's what this show is all about. The show's been booked for 4 months, and we got to say hi to Carrie because I know she wanted to be on, but she got kicked in the face by a horse, if you can believe that or not. No. And I've had a horse rant, so I'm like, you don't look that bad, but that's not good. So, you know, the thing about that is, thank goodness she's okay because that could have been a lot worse. So we did a lot of fun. So she had 2 of her friends come in. Stu, I think it's coming in later. Tanya was supposed to be here in general, and I think Kim came in, whatever the what is. But you know what? I don't know if they remember me from Toy Fest this year, but I remember them because I just walk around every single booth, every aisle, and I want to see whatever product is there. I do the same thing at CES too. I don't want to miss anything, and my co-host will tell you. We love finding those great products that people don't know of, that people don't talk about, that people need to have, like EdenPark, and those great toys and those inventors, those artists that have been on our shows. So that's the great thing about movie reviews and more, and that's the more part. And then we have Carol Register, one of our new co-hosts, and Carol's a great friend of ours, and I just love her. She has her own podcast. She's going to talk about Howard Wingus from Nashville, Tennessee, you know, one of the world's best leading interior designers, and he's also in a new book, and he will talk about that. And Terry Marie Nonstop, she's been with me for 10 years. Who would have known that? I don't know what she saw in me, but we're still together. We argue like cats and dogs, but she's my sister, and I'm her brother, and you know, I like that. So I got to kick this off because this is a special show. It's always about being safe. And now all you guys know me and the audience knows me too. I don't go anywhere without being protected. I got to start with Kevin and Kyle because EdenPark, I love this device that they gave to me earlier in the year. And this is something that I fly with. I walk through the airports with it. I take it on red carpets with me. I take it to conventions. I take it in my scooter. No matter where, I bring my EdenPark mobile shield with me, and they're going to tell you why that's important. And then we have people from the toy world. Last year, one of last year's best movies, Barbie. What do you think it came from? I tell everybody, the toy world. People forget about that. I don't like it when people have great products and go to conventions and there's no media there. That bothers me. And that's one reason why I was there. When I met Carrie in the corner, I think it was in 21 at Astro, I didn't know what Toy Fest is, but because we had the inventors and artists on our show, they go, Brian, you got to come down to Astro. I'm like, what's that? Toy convention. I'm not interested. Boy, when I went down to meet him in person, I said, there's no press here. I walked in, I'm like, it's a gold mine. I could do so many things with these products and these companies and these artists and these inventors. And that's why we like to have them on our show. So I usually start with ladies first, but I got to start with these guys because this product is just too important to me. I've been begging them all year since I met them this past January to come on the show and talk about EdenPark and some of the great devices that a lot of people may not know of. Kevin, let's start with you because I met you and I was dragged to the booth where EdenPark was at CES because I met, I think they were Korean, and I had something that they were telling me about, and I was wearing my device around my neck that protects me no matter where I go cross country. I've never had COVID. I don't get sick. I'm always very careful with what I do. And then they dragged me to your booth, and you guys showed me a lot of great products that not only do movie theaters need it, hospitals need it, airlines need it, you name it, going to concert. This is something I don't leave home without. As soon as I walk into North Carolina tomorrow, I'm putting this right on, and it's going to beam away because I'm going to be locked down with kids for a month. And I don't want to pick up all the stuff that they have. Kevin, take it away. Talk about who you are and why I like this product.
My name's Kevin Nemitz. And like you just said, I was drawn to EdenPark as well. I'd been in consumer product goods most of my life. Procter & Gamble, the Ralston Krina. I did a CEO startup in the consumer goods companies. My mother was going into assisted living, and she was there for 3 years. And when she passed away, which was actually the anniversary is today, which is ironic, we couldn't see her for up to 4 or 5 months. And it was because people were getting quarantined around COVID. And I started looking at the research. I started doing different things and understood that there has to be something out there to be able to prevent that type of thing from happening, whether it's passed on from a nurse or a caregiver or just somewhere in the air. And I discovered EdenPark, and I went to work for them as a consultant in the business development area, and also trying to help on the sales side. And I've just been pulled in all along. And I think we're doing some great work. Our mission is really, and we are already, the global leader in innovative technology that's delivering a continuous disinfection protection of a cone that's coming out of what Brian's mobile unit is, or lamps that are in your ceiling one day, will be able to prevent from somebody sitting next to you or being next to you and coughing or whatever it might be. It can kill the virus in a couple seconds.
Wow.
So that's just in one area. We're doing a lot of other things, and I think we're onto something really extreme. And if you think COVID's gone, it's not. And there are also other viruses that we will continue to deal with. And EdenPark is located in Champaign, Illinois. And
Nice.
so right there by the university. We're founded by the university. And I'm going to turn it over to Kyle here, if you don't mind. Is that right, Brian?
Yeah, thanks, Kevin. So my name's Kyle. I'm a part of the business development team with Kevin. And it's like he said, so our company is located in Champaign, Illinois, with the technology founded out of the University of Illinois. And so we've been around for quite a while now, and I think it's a really innovative technology. I think everybody could agree that health and wellness is sort of at the forefront of everybody's mind. I mean, I know Brian purchased his unit to protect himself, but I think everybody, whether you're immunocompromised or you know somebody that maybe is elderly or more prone to getting sick, I think everybody sort of has a need or desire to protect themselves from viruses and bacteria. Like Kevin said, whether it's COVID-19 or influenza, like the common cold, or even like E. coli and Listeria floating around sort of in food nowadays with all the food recalls going on. There's really a very wide range of uses for our technology. And so the technology itself is actually called FAR UVC. It is a short wavelength ultraviolet light. And it really sort of emerged during the COVID era. It really gained a lot of popularity. And what makes it so unique is that it's human safe, so completely safe for people to be in the room while it's running. But really, it provides extremely effective disinfection for everybody that's in that space. And it's continuous, which is another huge perk, right? I think everybody's maybe familiar with like Lysol sprays or HEPA filters, or there's a lot of options right now for sort of filtering the air, or again, those Lysol sprays are great. It says kills viruses and bacteria or whatever, but they're almost instantaneous. Even Clorox wipes for wiping surfaces are great. It cleans them, but just for that particular moment. But this far UVC light is actually capable of, it runs continuously, right? So whether a germ lands on the surface now, or it's in the air now, or an hour, that light is continuously sort of killing those germs. And that's really what makes the technology so great.
And then when we enter the toy world, the good thing about this and why I took it to Toyfest is that anytime we were in the game room, what do kids do? They pick up all these toys. So when I had it running in the game room, nobody knew I had it running in there, but I had it in there because guess what? It's kid friendly and it's pet friendly. And you could barely hear the hum. But I felt safer knowing that I was helping people that they didn't even know I was helping them. And that's what I like to do. Even when I'm on an airplane, I take my mobile shield and I have it in my little bag right in front of me, and I'm sterilizing my area, probably that entire plane. Because when you put those things on, things could go wrong. But when you got kids and they're always touching things, guess what? As soon as I walk into that house tomorrow, my shield is going on because there's kids there. One of them's got pink eye. I'm like, okay, I'm ready. I'm glad I have my mobile shield. I'm ready. Bring it on.
Brian, we love the support. We love the support. Yeah.
Hey, it's not only you. It's and Carol and Howard and Terry and Rebel will tell you, no matter what the product is, I want it first. I want to take it with me. I do take it with me. There's pictures of me, like I said, being on the red carpet with it. I had it in front of me and John Bon Jovi at the Music Cares. Everybody was there. It was in front of Jelly Roll. He goes, "What's this?" So I love having these things. I don't care if it's a scooter or if it's a new phone that they want to give me. I take it and I showcase off in a different way. So when I go to Toy Fest, Tanya and Kim, pleasure meeting you guys because I love Sandy. If it wasn't for Carrie, I wouldn't know about the toy world. So when I go in there, who's going there? Who are these products for? Kids. Kids get sick picking things up. So do you not think I want to keep everybody safe during game night, which is a fun event for everybody? So that's what I'm doing. I'm doing my part. Tanya, talk about this. Talk about why you're in the toy industry, why it's fun, because I've never seen so many happy people in my entire life before.
I started off when I was younger. I don't know if everybody remembers the Big Book, right? The Spiegel catalog and Sears. And I got my start out of college working for Sears. And then I moved on to Spiegel. And so I was always just enthralled with catalogs. And I always said, I'm going to be a buyer for Sears one day in Spiegel, right? And it actually happened, which was, pretty incredible. And then I moved on to working for Playmobil, which is a German toy company, for 12 years. And I've been in the business 30 total, and the last 14 have been as an independent rep. So it's a great industry. People are happy. We're happy. You don't really have a bad day in the toy industry, unless you're not getting your order, or unless there's something wrong, right? Or, something's out of stock. But generally, it, exudes happiness and joy and to our customers, and being in the stores, seeing the kids come in, seeing what they like. It's always interesting to look around the stores and see which kids are gravitating. Some kids over buy books, other kids are trying to rip everything open. So it's really nice to be able to see it from both ends, from a sales perspective, a buying perspective, and also being in the store.
And Kim, talk about this. I love what Sandy's done. She's done a great job. Sandy Lapierre, the president of Toy Fest, I think she's done such a great job. I think they extended it by 1 year. And one of the nicest people I've ever met. But when I saw her, when these orders are taking place, you guys are fascinating to watch. Because don't interrupt them. They're buying, they're selling toys. They want to see what's the hot product out there. Sort of like how movies being shot. I've always said this, when during Super Bowl commercials, watch what they have product-wise, because it may come out at the end of the year, but they're busy working on it leading up to that. And that's why I wanted Kevin and Kyle on, because I met them in January. But it's one of these things where we're in the winter months. This is germ territory, flu, cold, you name it. A lot more people tend to pass away because they get infected different types of way, no matter what it may be. Carol will talk a little bit about her story and her business and where she came from in a minute. Kim, talk about what made you become one of these sales reps and what you were doing with Sunshine Sales. And now, what is it? Is it called Golden Merchant or Golden Moments now?
That's with Tanya. Tanya's company is.
Oh yeah. It's Golden Sales. It's Enchanted Moments purchase Golden Sales, but everything at Golden Sales is saying the same. Yes.
So Tanya's my competition.
She is. Kim and I were battling it out before. I was trying to send her a link that didn't work. It didn't work out that way. But now we're all together.
Exactly. So I've been in the toy industry for 25 years. This was my 25th. I started when I was pregnant with my second child and wanted to do something that I was inspired by what my own kids were doing. So I actually started by launching a website to sell toys, and I was right on the heels of eToys doing that. It was before Amazon, and it was the direction that things seemed to be going, away from paper. And I wanted to head that, and I tried to get some investment capital going, but it had not taken off. People were not trusting what was going on the internet. So I was working out of my house. I was making products and doing that, and decided that I wanted to actually learn a little bit more on how this all worked on the ground. And so I approached one of the companies that I bought a lot from and asked if I could rep for them in the area. And that's how I started. And I worked with that company for 6 or 7 years. And one of my customers hired me to come in and run a couple of bookstores, children's bookstores, and do the buying for that. And I learned the book buying and worked with authors and loved that. And then I left and did some writing for moms magazines and that sort of thing and marketed some stuff. And then Sandy called me and asked if I'd be interested in coming back to repping. And you've met Sandy. You don't say no. No. So that was 13 years ago. And I love it. I love working with mom and pop shops, people who are innovators, inventors, people who are coming out with new products, people who really want to, be their own independent business.
Carol Register, tell them who you are.
Oh, hey, I am a neuro coach and the creator of the Neuro Wealth Method using neuroscience with principles of wealth. I'm an international business owner, and I am the co-host of the Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast, one of the top-ranked podcasts. We talk about all things neuroscience regarding leadership and wealth and productivity. So that's who I am. By the way, Sandy, I was on the other end of Spiegel. I worked for Kelly's Services in high school, and I got to pack boxes for those things you purchased.
Oh my gosh, really?
And by the way, Tanya, my wife worked for Spiegel
Really?
for over 20 years. She ran the real estate and did the new building. That was her project.
Oh, that was the best going today ever, going to work. There was funny you mentioned Champaign, and so I went to Bradley in Peoria, Illinois.
Oh, you did?
And
I went to Creighton.
Yeah. Did you go to Creighton? Yeah. So it's interesting when you said that. Yeah.
But my wife actually turned the lights off on the building when we closed it, basically.
Well, my dad always teased me when he was alive. He's like, you bankrupted 2 companies. So working for Sears and Spiegel. And I was like, no, it wasn't me. It wasn't me.
Well, those outlet stores were pretty cool. You probably did bankrupt some of that.
Yes, they did. Yes.
So I'll have to tell her your name if you don't mind. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But here's the thing about that is that, in the toy world, like I said, besides songwriters, the toy industry is the happiest business I've ever seen as an outsider looking in, just watching them. I've never seen so many people, it didn't matter what age they were just like kids. And kids were looking at them like, why are they happier than I am? I'm a kid. I'm supposed to be happier than these adults. But it was fun seeing game night, and they're going to talk about that in a minute. Howard Wiggins, tell them who you are. Go ahead.
I'm Howard Wiggins of Howard Wiggins Interior Design. I'm one of the top designers in the world, 35 top designers in the world. I'm son of Little Roy Wiggins, who played steel guitar for Eddie Arnold. I'm coming up with a movie called Without Warning that I'll be playing a cop in There's one in Hollywood that's called Who's Going to Be Taking Care of Me. There's other things in the works that keep my fingers crossed are happening. Let's see. I'm in my living room. That you can follow me on Facebook. You'll see all my collection of art and antiques that I collect all the time. And today, usually you ask me what I'm wearing. I'm wearing a real scarab necklace. It's real genuine bugs. So anyway.
And Howard's been collecting art since he was 12 or 14,
so.
going back to everything. And he's never in the same room. That's why I always ask him, because seriously, I think he lives in a 36-house mansion because he's never in the same room. And it never looks the same. He says he doesn't, but I swear he does.
Howard, you said that was your living room?
Yeah, it's my living room.
That's pretty awesome. I thought that was just an amazing green screen. So that's
no,
it's a real thing.
Everything. I usually have some photos. You'll see everything is original in there.
Oh my God, that is so cool.
Yeah, he is a real art collector. Terry Marie, go ahead. Tell them who you are.
Hi, it's kind of funny you guys are talking about a cold because I have a little bit of a cold today, so excuse my coughing. But I'm Terry Marie. I have been with Brian, as he said, for over 10 years. I do a lot of the red carpet hosting events for Movies Review and more. I am a fitness. Well, I have won several awards in fitness competitions. I placed first place in my division in Muscle Beach and second overall. I have placed in NPC, second place, third place, and I was Miss Fitness Masters LA Bikini for Fitness Universe. So I've got that under my belt. I also am dabbling in art. I kind of put that project I was doing on hold, but I'm going to put it back out there. I also have on TikTok, I do TikTok shop. So if you want to get product reviews by me on TikTok, you can follow me. Right now, I've just been doing a lot of like supplements. So that's a lot of fun. And I've got some things planned for the new year. I don't want to spoil them. So I'm not going to talk about them until I get closer to those goals. But that's why they call me nonstop, because I'm constantly doing stuff.
So Kevin, when I go back to Tennessee, I'm going to Regal Cinemas, their head office in Knoxville. The reason I'm going there, because I tell people what they're not doing right, because lives are on the matter when it comes to these things. When I go to a movie theater, I just went to go see Gladiator 2 because I missed my screening. I missed the premiere in Los Angeles. And I went there and there's a bunch of kids. I'm like, oh my God, I forgot my mobile shield. I forgot it was a holiday weekend. And I'm like, oh my God, there's all these kids in here. And I forgot my mobile shield because it's usually sitting next to me when I'm having my popcorn. And luckily there was only 3 people in the theater, so I felt okay. But still, talk about why what I have, the device that I have, Mobile Shield and the company, is good for things like going to the movies. Because the reason people don't go to the movies, a lot of people who are older do not feel safe. They just don't. When you haven't changed the rug that's been in there before COVID, and it's, come on, that's not good. And I actually will go up and say, when did you guys pop this popcorn? Because I've been doing this for over 35 years as a movie critic. I want to know, and I don't get sick, but I'm always looking out for other people who I know might get sick. What say you when it comes to movie theaters and going on airplanes? We've all flown.
Oh, sure. And we're really proud of something we've recently done with a partner called Spectrum Networks, who they had this vision of what can we do to turn that petri dish of an airplane that we fly in every single day, and we sit next to people, and we'll be at the CES show and come January this year, and there'll be numerous people that will come up to us and go, what are you talking about? And I'm like, well, when you leave here, you're going to be sitting on a plane. You have no idea who is next to you. They're going to be coughing, and you're hopeful that you won't catch what they have. And we've worked with a partner to actually put in the reader lamps, so Brian doesn't have to pull out his machine in the future. And then in the very near future, you should be able to just click on your light, and that light will actually emit that cone for you and protect you and everybody else in there. It's an investment that the airlines need to make. And it's a slow investment because, it's probably going to raise our price a little bit to do this. But I'm coming off of walking pneumonia from 2 weeks of flying, and don't know where it came from, assuming it's probably in the plane. But so that's what we think about. What we think about also are the people that are just immune compromised. We have over 7% of the country that is immune compromised. They can't go anywhere without their worries and their concerns, and they can't go to movie theaters or see musicals. So we've actually created a new version of the Mobile Shield, and Kyle is actually the one that innovated it and created it, and it's the size of a hockey puck compared to what you have like in like a radio right now, right, Brian? Mm-hmm. So we've actually improved it. We'll continue to improve it. We're actually, we're going to showcase our innovations. We're actually working with automobiles. And think about it. It won't be long before we'll be in Uberless drivers, right? Yep. We'll be getting in these cabs. I have no idea who was in there before us, but I sure as heck want to know that it's been disinfected when I get into the vehicle. So, and the other thing, Kim, just to build off of yours, and because Kyle and I are both in business development, we went to the Illinois Library Show. And one of the biggest areas that was a concern to the librarians was readers, being the reader for the small kids and things like that. So it may be one day, I wasn't sure how we were going to tie all this together, Brian, but perhaps when you're selling books into libraries or into big areas, maybe we work out something where, they purchase the books and we figure out a way to give them something to keep them focused on the story and not worried about what's potentially people are coughing or wheezing or whatever's happening.
Well, talking about things like that, we're always promoting books. So this is one of the books the author Eric will be on in 2 weeks. Matter of fact, he's got this one and he's got another one, this one. So we're always promoting authors. I always take them to the libraries. And yes, I take my Mobile Shield to the libraries too, because I don't trust what's been there. And it's one of those things it's not that I go overboard. This is like, we've had too many people pass away. When I went to Terry's house and cleaned, I like her mom. I wanted her mom to be safe. When I was helping cleaning there for a minute, I had it running. Terry didn't know I had it running, but I had it running, So when it comes to these things, we have those international and those best-selling authors on, and I usually take them by the hand, no matter where we're going, because they come with me to a lot of events. And again, I've always said this, when you're in that toy industry, you're dealing with, a lot of kids. It's kid products. So talk about these photos. This is game night. Tanya and Kim, talk about this. This is fascinating to me. Seeing adults playing games and the few kids that were there, I was just happy just being like a fly on the wall. It was fascinating. Tanya? Right,
yeah, that's been a long-standing tradition of Toyfest game night. Game night sells out every year. So, you get in early, and we sell out every single year. So the vendors have to get in early. It's something that some people have been doing this, Kim, 30, how many years have they been doing game night, these retailers? It's like a big highlight of their year to go and sit at a table. They know the vendors. I mean, a lot of the people in the toy industry, we're talking about like some 35-year relationships that they have with vendors. And so it's really special to them. You learn a new game. It's fun. You share best practices with the stores next to you. And it's a good team building exercise.
Hey, Rebel, go back to that last photo because they were on the kids were on. I found them. This was all about happiness. Howard and Terry, I think you remember them. The girls, Monica, who was a Mercedes, and Anastasia. Very, very nice people. I love this. It was always about happiness, and they had cards. And that was a lot for me because everybody needs those aspects. Sometimes people just have a bad day. And sometimes, hey, they just need this just to be reminded things will get better. It could be worse. And I found them and they were just fascinating and we become friends. I love that industry. I like most of the industries. And that's one of the reasons why I like having people on because you never know who you're going to meet. And I can see the feeds later where, I think this is Carol's third show and we talk all the time. I don't care if she's in Chile, I call her. Go ahead, Carol.
Yeah, it's my fourth show. And You know, I was going to say that I actually picked up COVID on one of my international flights recently. So I'm feeling great now, but it would have been awesome to have had that with me to, you know, guard from that, be protected from that. So I think this is an awesome advice, the EdenPark device. Is it actually called, the device itself is called EdenPark?
So the company is EdenPark, and then the far UVC lamps that we produce then can be built into a number of different sort of lighting products, right? So this one is the Mobile Shield 222, and this is the one that Brian has and takes a lot of different
everywhere.
Everywhere. This is the portable unit, and you plug it in, you turn it on, and the disinfection is immediate. I'll hold this up again. And this is on a stand right now too that we actually offer with the device.
Oh, that's awesome.
It is pretty cool.
And Kyle, talk about the radius of that, because that's important also.
Yeah, so the bulbs are fantastic. I mean, the range of disinfection extends to about 10 feet from the actual window, from the UV window. And it's a 60-degree cone, which is pretty standard for a light bulb. So if you can kind of picture that coming out, obviously it spreads as you get further from the device, and it covers sort of a larger area. So
I'd be naming it some kind of really cute name for myself. Like carrying around little George with me or something. I don't know.
You know, we've got that new version of the Mobile Shield coming out soon. The smaller version. And maybe we got to bring you in and have you help name them.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
I will tell you this, though. I think it's fascinating. When I first joined and I started talking to a woman in New York, and she just opened my eyes to this whole concept, because as much as it's about Brian, when he carries that around with him, it's about Brian's care for the people that he's with as well. And it always becomes a talking. It's like, you know, so this woman was a VP of senior healthcare or something, and she has a 2-year-old daughter. And every time she'd have a meeting, people would say, "What's that on your desk?" And you say, "That's for your protection as well as my protection."
Wow.
And it's called a Mobile Shield. And, you know, and it's like, wow, it's just it's an interesting way to be empathic when you're still trying to conduct your business, right? And it's a great way to kind of put yourself forward and let them know who you are and how concerned you are about it. And then, of course, she goes to the Montessori school, picks up her daughter, and they don't want to invest in them. So, you know, it just
need a little more work, a little more persuasion, right?
A little more work, I guess. Yeah. Well, it's persuasion. It isn't. It can't be. It doesn't work that way. But like what you just commented on, and other people feel the same way, and it's not gone. It's, you know, there's other things out there. So.
Hey, Tanya, do you have a favorite toy that you like? And if you do, what might it be?
Oh, gosh.
And you know why I ask? Because the Tonys are one of mine, the Tony box. What I'm wanting to do with them is have the authors that I deal with, and Kim, I may want to talk to you about, because we always have international and best-selling authors on here, and I'm always bringing them and looking for different ways to help promote them. But I love the Tony box, and I like StoryPod. Even though we're in competition, there's still 2 different companies, and I still want to work with them. But I like how Tony's have the figurine, and I like how StoryPod can do more with the adults and their books, because these authors have some really good books that need to be promoted in a different way.
Right. I tend to like the more traditional old school toys. So if I could take the Sears catalog from 1985 and resurrect it, I would. I remember I had all the ventriloquist dolls. I had W.C. Fields, Lester. I had all of them when I was in my ventriloquist phase. And so I like really traditional toys like building Tinker Toy, things like that, tops. I still like all those things. And obviously Tony's is something new, but I tend to go for more like more traditional toys, just for me.
Can you say what you might be promoting coming up for 2025 and for the rest of the year? Because people can, parents are buying toys right now, right?
One of the coolest things we have right now is it's called a silent basketball, and it's by a company called Incredible Group. And it's a basketball that's foam. It bounces in the house and it makes zero noise, no noise at all. And so it got kind of popular on TikTok. So it's a basketball that's foam, but it bounces in the house. So for all the little budding Michael Jordans out there, I had to give a Chicago plug. I'm sorry. It's a really great item, and it just looks like a foam basketball. But it's interesting when you go into the stores, the retailer has it in the box. It doesn't look like anything. But when you have somebody in the store bouncing it around, the sales staff have it out for kids, it breathes a whole new life into something like that. So that's something that's just been really hot this year. That's going to kind of continue, I think, into next year. It's not something expensive, but it's a really cool idea. And you can use it indoors and outdoors, but it's made of foam and it works.
I'm sure
Kim,
my
what
mom
do you
wished that came out 10 years ago.
Kyle's eyes lit up when you talked about that.
Oh yeah, the basketball, yeah.
Yeah.
That's cool.
When we
Hey,
had dinner over in Thanksgiving dinner, we asked a question like, what was our favorite toy growing up? And mine was the ping pong basketball, where you had the little flippers and you could shoot the ball. It's like, but the whole industry is interesting right now because, back then you could go to Toys R Us, you could go to these different places. Where do people, is it all digitally now? I mean, are there,
Pretty much.
what about FAO Schwartz in New York? Is that still around, or it's been a long time since I've checked to see that, but it's just interesting where the whole industry has gone. Is it all digital?
No.
I saw a Schwartz store I saw one at the airport in Dallas.
No.
Wow.
So they're still around.
They are, but it's not the FAO of the movie Big. Okay, it's
Right.
an FAO. Everything is a little more bland. Here's a standard item. Here's a standard item. Let's slap FAO on it. But the real magic happens within, and Kim will agree, and Kim can talk on this more, is specialty stores. So Kim has some great stores that she can talk about they're like wonderlands. They're just absolute wonderlands.
I have seen a couple of those. Like there's one here in Naperville. And it just blows me away because it's got the coolest toys in it. And yet I'm not sure if I would bring a little, my son with me at the time when he was small, I was more interested in it than he was, right? Because it's cool games and interesting ways to, portray them. But it
kind of goes back to game day, or game night when you were talking about that. The retailers go to that to learn the games in order to be able to sell it to their customers. And a game is something in particular that you really need to be knowledgeable about to make that translation from the shelf to the sale. And you're not going to get that at a mass box store or at an Amazon. You're going to get that in a specialty retailer. And they're also going to gift wrap it for you. You're going to say, I've got the smartest 5-year-old that ever happened, and they're into this, and they're going to come up 20 different gift ideas that you never thought of, that you walk out the door and know that you've got something unique that they're not getting from somebody else, and you got all that service with it. So they're there, and they're great people because their whole goal is to bring that happiness and that excitement to the recipient of the product that they're giving.
And they work incredibly hard. I mean, even just this weekend, I'm sure Kim and I have the same thing happening. Our customers are texting us Friday morning. Do you have this? Do you have that? Like we're on call. Kim and I are always on call for our customers. So
10 o'clock at night, Friday night, like we'll get that ordered, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. It could be like this weekend, do you one of my customers, I've never sold Mahjong. I had 3 people asking, right? Or one year you might not sell kitchens, the next year you are. So we're on call. We're calling the vendors. Do you have this in stock? When can you ship it? So as salespeople, we're always on call for our customers, like anybody that's on call. If we had a pager, it would be, our pagers would have went off this weekend, because that's the kind of thing when you're a rep, you do for your customer, the lengths that they will get to please their customers. It's unreal.
Yeah. Well, and this is where I always promote small business, because what Kevin was talking about, this is why small business and those inventors are important, because the people that I met, there was a store in Wyoming. I think they've been there for 25 or 28 years. I was like, really? In Wyoming? The nicest people. They even knew my favorite drum corps, the Casper Troopers. They go, yeah, we used to have a lot of local kids coming. Now they're out-of-state kids are coming. And Kevin, it's still about monopoly. the Game of Thrones, all these games that they would give us for swag, for all the movie stuff that we do, they come from the land of toys. They come from Toyfest and the toy world, and people forget this. And I feel so embarrassed when I'm telling my film critics, this little bobblehead that they gave us. Like, I always laugh at Howie Mandel. I have a great picture with me and Howie and this bobblehead that I got. Howie, that bobblehead that you gave me years ago, I still have it. Guess where it came from? It came from the toy world. So I keep reminding these celebrities where this stuff came from because they forget. But also board games. I'm always looking for toys for kids who are autistic. That's really, really important for me because I did bring Matt Stout. He's one of the world's best poker players. His kid is autistic. I brought him to Toy Fest. He lasted about an hour and 15 minutes because I timed it before he got on the floor and wanted to go to McDonald's. But he immediately saw 3 toys that he loved. One was a tent near Sunshine Sales. There was a tent that you can get into. It looked like a plane and everything, and he was fascinated by that. He loved it. Yes, he loved that. Talk about kids being autistic, why that's important in the game world also.
Well, those numbers are increasing. And so a lot of times with again, a mom and pop shop, you will have parents that come in with kids with all sorts of special needs, and your retailers are becoming more and more educated about sensory toys that stimulate, toys that go that way, and they can direct you. And so oftentimes a toy that I would normally just sell as a toy to sell will be exactly what a therapist needs to work with the child, or what parent needs to have a conversation and help develop language, or any of those things.
And teens are flocking to toy stores more and more too, because teens have anxiety. Slime. I mean, we can both talk about it, Kim and I. Slime is here to stay. These sensory toys are here. And it's not just for little kids, it's for teens, it's for tweens. And these stores have to be able to carry and draw in customers when kids are beyond the toy play. You need to have offerings for teens and tweens and anything squishy, anything like that.
That's why is it so powerful? Yeah.
We got a couple minutes left. Hey, Howard, talk about what you do when you're at your job helping kids, because I want to get Howard some kids toys from what he does. And then we've also had JT from Fun Emotion Toys there, because he's the one that taught me how to juggle. I still don't know what the hell I'm doing, but at least it was JT who took the time to do it.
Taking care of the mentally challenged adults,
yes,
and teenagers.
Yeah, because I'm going to get you some toys for them.
Oh, great. And the device to keep me from being sick and them being sick.
Yeah,
absolutely. I will get you one. I will get you one. Howard, talk about that, because they love you as you come in dressed just like your normal day, but we have 1 or 2 kids that just specifically are drawn to you.
I dress like a cowboy for them a lot of times. And I've got one young boy that just entered the class, and he knows every actor who's a voiceover. And I've got that new Diana Firefly where I play the voice of a rabbit. And he wants to be like me when he grows up. So, well, he's grown up, but he wants to do that and be a voice of a character. But he'll sit in his room all day long and say every single line in all those cartoon things. Just repeat it all day long. That's what he enjoys.
Hey, Howard, give your social media links for everybody to reach out to you.
Just Howard Wiggins Facebook, and of course, movies, reviews, and more with Bryant, and Instagram.
Hey, Carol, talk about your podcast and why people should come on it and why people should listen to it, and social media links.
Oh, Unleashed and Unstoppable podcast is just what it says, for you to live a life that's unleashed and unstoppable using neuroscience. And we love having guest experts on. Brian, thank you so much for coming on. It's been fabulous to have you. And we just love serving people. We've got a great audience. We're top ranked, and it's a lot of fun to do the show, just like what you're doing here. We really enjoy it. Delivering to people, helping them to understand little tips and tricks that they can do. And, if you guys want to be on, reach out to me. I'd love it. You can reach out to me. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to say, can you also talk about your little hideaway that you have too?
Yeah. My hideaway We have a little boutique hotel down in the Andes Mountains in southern Chile, and we love to throw retreats, and it's really beautiful. We've got one of the largest black sand beaches on one of 5 large lakes, 4 glacier-covered volcanoes, one of the most active. We do hot springs, skiing. So, yeah, if you'd love to come down, we'd love to have you.
You know I'm coming. I'm coming
I
out
know,
for March. Once I go to Brazil, I'm working on going to Chile because it's well, I know how far, I know the distance, but I'm coming. You know I'm coming.
Yeah, love to have you. We do wine tours and nature retreats and all kinds of really cool things. It's a lot of fun.
Kim,
I can't wait till you get here.
Hey, I'm coming. Everybody's always invited when we do things, and a lot of people come to us, so that's a good thing. Hey, Kim, talk about anything that you guys are wanting to promote between now and Toyfest for 2025, and then give your social media links for everybody.
Well, this is a great time of year for us as a rep, I think. We are working with all of our customers, but we're really getting ready to see all the new stuff. So we spend the next couple of weeks with all of our vendors, and they reveal all of the items that they will have coming out in 2025. So when you come to Toy Fest, that's what we will have been hitting the road with for the first 6 weeks of the year. And that's the first taste. That's how they decide what you see at Toy Fest and get excited about what creates that buzz. That is what will come back at Christmas 2025 as those hot items, and will determine what you're seeing in the stores.
Terry Marie, tell them what you got coming up.
What do I have coming up? I don't know.
I might throw you a red carpet either December 12th or whatever, because I'm not going to be there.
Okay, yeah. I don't know what I have got going for the end of the year. I'm just trying to wrap it up. I mean, I forgot about my day job. I also do work, which I talked to you guys. I work in DME, so I work with a lot of hospitals. I work in orthopedics, so I'm around patients all the time. So that's something I probably need because I'm in hospitals every day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Give you social media links, Terry.
Oh, my social media links is nonstop Terry Marie on all platforms. My website is terrymarieofficial.com, where you can see some of my fitness stuff. And make sure to check out my TikTok so you can get some cool supplements. And I'm going to start doing some fashion stuff next week on some discounts there.
Kyle, what can we look forward to with EdenPark and whatever you're coming up with next, since you're the quiet one that I was paying attention to? I got this great photo of January, and I kept looking at him like, what does this guy do? I know he does something because he's too quiet.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kyle.
It's been a great year for us, and I think we've got a lot of really exciting things coming up, especially at CES this year. Like Kevin had mentioned, our Far UVC is being built into a bunch of different planes right now, and there's actually going to be a car at the show that has our disinfection lights built into it. So we're going to be showcasing it in an automobile. And then finally, actually too, now that Far UVC is really catching on, the Space Needle in Seattle is going to be implementing a lot of our Far UVC lights in their elevators, which is going to be a really sort of excellent addition to their facility.
Yeah. Social media links.
Yes. So I know we have a LinkedIn, and then obviously feel free to check out more information on our website, EdenPark.com.
Tanya, toy or anything coming up between now and Toy Fest on your end, since you and Kim, good friends, are competitors. I love it.
Kim and I are each getting Rock'em Sock'em robots for Christmas, and we're going to play it across from each other. That's our plan, right? That's what we're doing. One of the things that I'm doing in January is going to the Atlanta Mart and Dallas and looking to find new brands. So not everything just falls at your fingertips and you pull from the sky. So there's a lot of new lines out there and things. You go to a show and you say, do you have a rep? Do you have representation in this state? You figure out if your group is a good fit for it. And not everything that's hot, people know about it. You want to create your own brand, right? So bringing something in that I think, I think my market could use this. So, I'm looking forward to getting out early January and also finding some new lines. And then like Kim said, we're on Zooms in December. We see everything that's new and great. And then we get excited and we get our customers excited. And here's what's coming out. Or I have a new line. People love new things, shiny new things, anything. If you say I have something new, the retailers love it. They want to see it. So that's another thing we can entice them with is, hey, we have something new. What do you think of this?
Kevin, you get the last word of that. Trying to give you social media links real quick.
www.goldensales.com.
And Kevin, last word. The important thing about you and EdenPark.
My mantra is challenge apathy, choose empathy.
I like
and as I think about that, I'm looking right now at these food recalls. We've had over 1,200 food recalls this past year. That means that our cost of food is going up. That means that we're going to have more hunger issues. That also means that a lot of that food goes into the food basically goes out and, it's going into the recycled areas or whatever it might be, the landfills. And it's actually now, because you can't really deposit it that quickly and destroy it that quickly, it's turning into methane gas that's actually hurting our environment. So there's so much we can do, and that's what one of the things that EdenPark is working towards. We've killed there's been over 100 million chickens that have been killed this year from avian flu. We can help fix that with FAR UVC. We've already got units that are going into production plants that will kill Listeria, E. coli, and Salmonella in 2 to 6 seconds. So there is hope here in the future as how we go forward. So thank you for your time. I appreciate it all, and really enjoyed this.
And as I say, I got to thank everybody for that because, again, it's Giving Tuesday. Give, follow, support, donate to your favorite charities. Ours is Dreamweaver Arts, Dreamweaver's Artist Ranch. And for June, we will have a local artist helping the homeless up there, mural paintings that Montague Pope LeBeau has put up. And we will talk about that as time goes on. And I got to thank everybody. And as I always say, have a good night tonight, a better day tomorrow. You see someone without a smile, please give them one of yours, like Howard is always doing, and Carol. I'm Brian Sebastian. This is Movie Reviews and More, and we will see you next week.
Bye.